What's up, y'all? It's your girl Stacy the Intuitive. We got some new messages today that I am so excited to share with you guys. I have my laptop here. We came prepared. So guys, today we're doing a new form of content. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the downloads that I've received over the last month, and I'm going to just kind of go throughout the messages and whatever wants to come up in the moment, because I always create notes, and sometimes I feel stopped up by like not knowing what to post, but like I have downloads. I always have downloads, and so I want to express those to you. And this will also make for a lot more short form content as well, like if I can clip things up. So without further ado, let's get into my downloads. Okay, so we're starting off. Some of the messages are going to be very slow, shorter. Some of the messages are going to be a little bit longer. They're going to have a little bit more substance. Okay, oh, there was like a piece of hair on my lip. Okay, here we go, guys. So the first message that I have: the real awakening is to who you are, not who your experiences have made you become. And this is a really big one, guys. So I feel like a lot of us are going through this experience where we had like a false awakening. I had this realization for myself actually recently. And my understanding of a false awakening is not like where you think you're awake or like, you're actually asleep. It's actually the awakening that you have to the version of you that has been constructed by the society, that has been consumed with conditioning, that has been consumed with inauthenticity just because of the nature, the structure of this world. And it's such that, that structure imposes upon our true selves. So much so that we don't even realize that that's not who we truly are until we start to actually get familiar with who that version of us is. So I do feel like there's this message coming through here where a lot of us are finally stepping into our real awakening, right? It might have felt like such a tumultuous journey up until this point because of the simple fact that you were having to awaken to all the density within your being, not the lightness, not the free-flowing energy, not the authenticity. You were awakening to all of the parts of you that were inauthentic, that weren't true for you, that had been imposed upon you, that had limited and restricted you from truly stepping into your being. And so that's why sometimes that beginning phase of the spiritual journey might feel very tumultuous, very tough, very hard. A lot of us are transitioning right now, though, into this phase of like, okay, I've undone the parts of me that were not me. Like, I've unraveled all of that. And now I'm having a real awakening because the way that I'm moving, the way that I'm showing up, the way that I'm navigating and orienting myself in the world has an all new, like, purified state of being, a new purified state of consciousness or perspective. And it's really impacting your experience. That is the true awakening, right? When your goals don't feel so far away, where the things that you want don't feel so far away, where the things that resonate with you don't feel so mismatched because the energy that you're now in is aligned to that. So I do feel here with this message, like I was just coming to the realization that the real awakening is to who you are, not who your experiences have made you become, right? It's not about that, right? Every single time you realize that you are acting out a way that doesn't feel resonant for you, or where you kind of feel like you self-sabotage or step outside of self, you have to recognize that that's not the awakening, though. You don't have to shame yourself for that. The real awakening happens when you realize who you truly are, even in the midst of all that density or mismatch, okay? So don't be too hard on yourself on that phase. That's coming up for a lot of us right now as we embark on this next phase of awakening and having our reality really reflect that, okay? So the next download that I got here is: don't focus on what was done to you. Focus on the seeds that you planted along the way and what you're about to reap. You heard me? Don't focus on what was done to you. Focus on the seeds you planted along the way and what you're about to reap. What are you positioned for in your present moment, okay? Forget all the external. Where are you? Where did God lead you? Do you think it's so bad? Were you that bad? Okay? This is where consciousness plays a role in your journey, guys. When you utilize your consciousness step by step, there's this quote that says, little by little, then all at once. I love that quote because it really speaks to the spiritual journey. It's every single little step, every single little action, every single little choice that you make to orient yourself in the direction of your truth, of your resonance, of humanity, of, what feels good to you, what feels authentic to you. Every single time you make that choice by that choice, you are aligning, regardless of where you started, regardless of where the external is. So when you find yourself coming to these moments of feeling, again, like there's a lot of density in the energy right now. So I just want to try to help us weed through that a little bit, right? All of that density is trying to pull at you, but there's also so much lightness that's wanting to pull you away from that density at this time. So as you are navigating this message, as I worded it, focused a little bit more on like your experience with other people, but this can be in anything, right? You need to start making your experience more self-focused and recognize and, really acclimate to the idea that your journey, right? Your journey, your own solitary journey is sovereign, right? And where you're going is dependent completely on you, not someone else, not the external. So how have you aligned yourself? How have you oriented yourself? What direction are you oriented in? Are you oriented for the most heartbreaking timeline ever? Or are you oriented for the most, beautiful heart chakra awakening, healing time ever? Like, what have you really aligned to? What have you been working towards? What has your effort been put towards energetically? And again, I'm just coming here to, like, I've been saying this in a couple of messages lately, but if you've aligned yourself and positioned yourself unwell, be real about that. Don't be acting like you've been acting a certain way when you haven't, because the more that you resist that truth, the farther away you get from, like, wanting to get on the right path for you, right? So if you've been doing people dirty, not having integrity, not being humane, okay, then you're not probably oriented well. But the moment that you can see that is the moment that you have the opportunity to change your position, to decide I'm going somewhere else. And God will allow your energy to be fluid in that if you genuinely commit to that path, if you genuinely utilize your awareness to move forward, okay? So that's so important. God is leading us along our path. God has led us along our path, whatever you believe. But for me, it's really like a God-oriented journey. And God has been walking with me on this path. It's like all of the trust that we garner, all the faith that we try to find, it's so that we can have trust in God and where God is leading us, where the path is leading us, where life is leading us. So as you find these little pivotal moments in time where maybe the external is showing a little bit of contrast or whatever, you need to ask yourself, okay, but where is it that I'm truly going? Where is it that I've been orienting? What have all of these lessons been trying to teach me? Like, what am I positioned for real? And if you feel like you're not positioned well, genuinely, based on your analysis of self and how you've been showing up, then again, get back to the drawing board. But if you can really get real and think about the practicality of it all, and you've shown up well, then you open up to an entirely new world that is free from the limitations of what you once thought was possible and are now realizing has the capability to go beyond, right? To go farther, to expand. So that is the download. And then at the bottom I have stop associating your positioning with that of others. Very important message. I feel like a lot of us have allowed just external, right? The way we view other people, the way that people interact with us. People are our greatest mirrors, right? A lot of the time they showcase the insecurities and things within us and what's going on within us. I don't like it to be like, oh, like, you're hanging out with people who steal because you steal. Well, no, maybe it's something deeper. Maybe it's that, you don't value yourself as much, or you think that people see you low anyway, whatever. It could be anything. But you need to stop associating your positioning with that of others, what you're seeing of others, how people are acting. Like, a lot of the time we get into this reaction mode, we're reacting to our external instead of observing it and making informed choices so that we can garner and gain like a deeper sense of control. I don't like the word control because of the confines around it, but more so a sense of groundedness in our experience, a sense of actual choice, I guess is what we can say. So let's get out of that, because there's this external focus that's becoming very heavy and we're allowing it to dictate our positioning. But there's an entire world that is being, energetically curated moment to moment as you set your intentions in navigating this world. So every single time that you get away from that, you create like these muddy parts of that unfoldment, right? The world is going to be what it's going to be, but you make your world what you want it to become, okay? So there we go. That is the only way to bring change, is for you to change. And sometimes you got to see the external in an unchanged state in order to have that capacity or capability to bring about change. Sorry, I got the battery notification. And then I have another message. I want to make a larger video about this, but biggest message of this one is that you have to allow yourself to be happy. I had this realization, guys, recently that I was not allowing myself to be happy. I was not allowing myself to feel happiness no matter where I am, right? I had this notion that because I'm not where I'm supposed to be, because I'm not in this place XYZ, or I'm not doing this, or my life doesn't look like this, then I'm not happy. not realizing that that whole time, that whole mindset was giving me this energy in my life of that I'm not allowing myself to be happy with what I have, with where I am, with the people in my life, with the circumstances, with how I feel about myself. I'm not allowing it because I'm telling myself that what I have right now is not good enough for happiness. A lot of us do this. A lot of us are waiting for happiness to come in via the changes that we expect to upgrade our lives. Or a lot of us are, waiting for other things to make us happy, waiting for change and stuff like that. But happiness is so simple. You can allow it in your present moment. You can allow it by allowing yourself to smile at the random people, by allowing yourself to be a little bit funny at your 9 to 5 and make other people laugh. It doesn't have to be about loving the job. It's about, oh my gosh, I'm going to send some kind of like quirky emails, right? Like some quirky taglines on the bottom of my emails, or I'm going to, say something silly to someone, like little ways that you can evoke this happiness energy into your life. For me, once I had this realization, there's so many things that I started to realize that I could be doing to evoke this happiness in my life. For example, I love live music. Why wasn't I allowing myself to go to live music? I love art. Why don't I go to museums to evoke this feeling of happy or love or whatever? There was just things that I was closing myself off to because I was still waiting for a reality to show up that was already here. The reality that I am cultivating is the reality that I want because I am me, right? I don't just stop being me at any point, right? The reality doesn't make me me, right? That doesn't go away. So I can be happy now, and cultivating happiness in your present is really the cheat code to like really aligning to that happiness that's going to come of your reality. So I want you guys to think and ponder that for a little bit. Like, am I allowing myself to be happy, or am I waiting for a change so that I can be happy? Or am I thinking that something else is going to make me happy? Because it's such a simple concept, but it requires just like a slight adjustment within your mind. It's just about the fact that you are allowed to be happy. You can let happy in. You can choose the energy of happy no matter where you are. You can allow it in, right? It doesn't matter if you want changes to happen. You need to allow yourself to be happy. Okay? So that's a big message. Yeah, I feel like, okay, so there's this message that I have beyond here, and I think these were unrelated, but I'm going to connect them. This next line that I have here says, "The darkest parts of you that seek the light deserve the light." You might be in a dark place, or you might feel dark things, or you might have we all have a pit. As much light as we have, we all have a pit. We need the light for darkness. We need darkness for light. And so when you're in that pit, when you're in that darkness, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's sadness, whether it's shame, guilt, whatever is coming up, the part of you that's willing to seek the light, that's willing to hope for a better outcome, to choose happiness or whatever, if you're questioning your worthiness of it, if you are in that deep depth and you're feeling this sense of like lacking worth or feeling like lost or whatever, acknowledge that the part of you that wants the light, that seeks the light, deserves the light, is worthy of the light. And that should give you like a little bit more understanding. It's really just about balancing this out. Like, I think this message was for me mostly about shame and things that we have shame about and things that we carry around. But as long as you are seeking the light from that space, you still deserve the light. You don't have to take away your worthiness. You don't have to tell yourself you can't be happy or worthy until you do XYZ. The part of you that's willing, that dark part, right? That little, it's kind of like the yin and yang symbol, right? That the dark aspect of the yin and yang, that little white dot is a part of you that seeks the light, that's willing to be open to the light. That part is the most important part. And then the next line was just a contradiction of that. It said, "The lightest parts of you that run away from the truth of your darkness are not light at all." That part, like, if you're going to run away from the truth in order to find yourself in the light, then it's not light at all. It's not truth, because light includes truth, guys. This was like a deep message. I'll get into this one another time as well. I just wanted to share it, but like, let me know whatever thoughts you have on that. It was just this message of like, the lightest parts of you, if you're going to run away from your own truth of who you are, the darkest parts of you, the parts of you that you keep hidden, if you're going to try to evoke happiness and light in your life without acknowledging those things, then the contradiction would be that part of you probably doesn't deserve the light at all, because it's not acknowledging the beauty and the balance that the darkness brings to it. So that's going to hit for some of you in different ways. That has a lot of layers. So I just want to put that out there. That's a deeper message, but that's one of the downloads. You guys take that where you want to take it, but it has a really a nice energy to it. Yeah, I don't know. I have a last message. This last slide that I have is not, you know, those are not fully developed. But one message I have is you can't be led by desire. You're a professional. A lot of us in our wanting to go towards our passions, we need to start thinking of ourselves as professionals in our passions. You know how to do this. This is what you're destined for. You're good at this. You're about to create a career out of this, right? You are a professional. It's not just desire that's leading you. Like, you are a professional, right? Utilize that energy of what is professional in order to manifest your dreams. That one, I just like that mantra. Don't be led by desire. You're a professional. You don't need to, you know, be allowing like the desire to lead you. You can step into the professional element of that, of knowing that you are skilled, you are worthy, you have the tools that you need. So I really hope that these messages resonated with you guys. Like I said, some of them are really quick, simple messages that I haven't really gotten to the deep depths of. Some of them were deeper and they hold like a longer portion of this video, but I so enjoyed sharing my downloads with you guys. What a special thing to do. I do hope to continue doing this, and you know, I think that I'm just going to keep this concept going, whether it be multiple downloads at once or whether it be like, you know, one download that I just bring to a video, which that's typically how my videos tend to be. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Let me know what resonated for you, what came up for you, what are you expanding on, and yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Mwah.